Hey! Old lady! I'm crushing your head.
How would I describe our humor?
Have I always had these breasts?
Dark and weird, but also like funny and shticky.
Yay! Big chicken's riding the horsey!
It's from a dark, suburban, obsessed place.
The light really brings out the blue in your hair.
Certain things that we've done that people have found offensive.
You know what this is? Urine. Another man's urine. I asked for it, and they give it to me.
For example, Hitler having sex with a donkey.
That's true. I have still photos to prove it.
They have something to say, and they're really funny in the way they say it.
Do you mind if I stop? Then I drop off the package.
They've certainly developed as performers and writers over the years, but some of them are wearing women's clothing, so I don't know what that means.
Isn't that a horribly ridiculous thing?
I just started writing ideas that were longer and more ambitious, and said, yeah, I think we'd like to make a movie. We'd like it to make a movie.
Action? It's all a big misunderstanding. You know, like a Three's Company episode.
What an awkward moment.
I'm ruining the movie. I'm ruining the movie.
What is this all about, Dave?
No, I have no idea.
It's not really a satire. It's its own story, really.
Oh, sweetness.
Oh, my little love cake.
It's definitely a comedy.
Something's in my eye!
Definitely a comedy movie.
This urine is great.
It's about 5 animals who witness a senseless act of violence.
Is that a fact?
No, it's something else.
I see it as a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. And mostly this movie is about a group of scientists who discover a cure for depression.
What it does is reaches into your brain chemically and locates your happiest memory chemically and then locks onto that emotion and freezes it chemically.
And then it's the story of the people who go on the drug.
Oh, I feel like God's rubbing my tummy.
It's about people struggling and trying to do their best.
And then it gets a little perverted and it gets a little weirder.
In many ways, it's sort of like a metaphor for us, in a way. The kids in the hall.
I was an evil little bastard. I had a bean shave, as we call it in Canada, and I played with sticks and mud, and I ate corduroy. I actually remember my first joke. I was in grade 2. The teacher was reprimanding me and said, I've told you that umpteen times. And then I said, yeah, but I don't know how many umpteen is. That was my first joke, and he laughed and laughed, and then I got off the hook.
I remember my first joke. It was in science class, and we were studying pith balls, and we were supposed to have studied where they were from. And Mrs. McKenzie said, Kevin, where are pith balls from? And I said, I don't know, Pittsburgh? And then she put me in the closet.
When I was young, I never thought about being comic. I never had a facility for voices or, you know what I mean? I never did any of that stuff as a kid. I couldn't do voices. I could do one voice as a child, Count Chocula.
I think I always liked comedy. Comedy is something I responded to probably more than like my classmates. And I just started watching and listening to comedy, and it seemed to speak to me. I think the first character I did was sort of a rip-off on Peter Sellers' character in The Party, which I thought was just like a great, great character. And then I went through all the standard things, Monty Python, Second City.
Woody Allen, Gene Wilder, SCTV.
Goon Show.
The Marx Brothers and Buster Keaton.
Those kind of influences.
I guess if you're going to be funny, you're going to be funny with what you grew up in, so we're funny. And because we grew up in mundane suburbia, as it were, that's what we think is funny. I live in Burbank, and I lived a few blocks away from where they taped Let's Make a Deal. And I remember a few times walking to school and passing people who were dressed as large cigarette cartons and pickles. And I remember thinking, wow, this is showbiz. This is great. That's why I'm in comedy today, being put in closets and men enjoying pickles.
The first kid in the hall was Bruce. Bruce and I hung out. We met Kevin and Dave. Then we all moved out to Toronto and started writing and doing theater, performing as a team.
Scott just forced his way into the group. Apparently he was in the audience one night. I didn't know this was him till years later. We did a sketch before the audience came in. We had taped chocolate donuts to the bottom of the chair. We said, everyone, look under your chairs, there's chocolate donuts. And then one asshole picked up the donut and started throwing it at us. And we both started, we were covered with donuts. And I found out years later that it was Scott.
And I thought, wow, any kind of theater that asks you to throw things at them is my kind of theater.
The early stage shows were pretty loose. We'd rehearse only once or twice before them, and we each came with ideas.
I think we all sort of influenced each other back and forth. Everyone had a particular obsession. Mine was doing characters. Scott brought sort of an acting wildness to it. Bruce was a stand-up, into jokes. Dave and Kevin were like very much into old comedy history.
We would do 2.5-hour shows. We wouldn't write our scenes down. By the time our shows were over, the stage was covered with beer. It was a mess. More like a band than a comedy troupe.
Just at that time, the Saturday Night Live Scouts were in town.
It became this buzz in Toronto that Lorne was coming to see us.
In a time in which there were lots of comedy troupes, they were clearly their own. I was very taken with how determined they were to go their own way, how fresh their comedy was.
He was nice, and he bought us drinks.
And he said, I think you guys should do a show. We should do a show.
One day God said, this is what I will do. I'll send down my son, I'll send him to you. His name will be Christ, and he'll never wear shoes. His pals will all call him the King of the Jews.
Our comedy is light dark, what I call light dark. We take very morbid subjects and make them a little lighter.
Now, the first sketch is called Hitler Blanks a Donkey. Daddy, what's that bad man doing to my pet donkey?
Well, that's not just a bad man, son. Now, there's Hitler. He's your pet donkey.
It's like, take our pie, you know. It'll burn your tongue, but it'll taste good.
So do you like it?
It's great. What's in it?
You really like it, huh?
Yes, I really like it.
Have some more.
What is in it?
Now, you really do like it, don't you?
Yes, I really like it. What's in it?
Have some more and I'll tell you what's in it. I made it with my very own...
I don't think there was ever an episode that didn't have something censored or cut or endless discussions about. But we were with them all the time, the people that censored, and we wore them down. They just got so tired of fighting us. By our third season, they were letting everything go out.
Thank God we're old friends, eh?
Oh, you're so right,
Geez,
pal.
that's the thing about old friends, is they understand everything. You know, they know you inside out, you know?
Yep.
They don't care what you do.
That's true.
That's a scene I'm very proud of.
I mean, what else could it be as I undo your wife's dress and run my calloused carpenter's hand down her back?
Feels like friendship to me.
That one's great, because when we really try to, like, shock each other, we just, oh, man.
As I lay her down, whoa! And proceed to make love to her in a way that you never had the guts to try.
It's not very often that we can appall each other.
You don't mind if I tell him you're impotent, do you, honey?
Mind? Why insist on it? Why shouldn't these good people know about my problems with the old dingly-dangly, eh?
You're next, pal. I want you in me.
Scott Thompson is apparently gay. Those are the rumors I've heard, and that helps.
I guess for me, it's like no one had ever really talked about what homosexuality the way that we did. We were gay men and straight men together, and that's pretty rare. And that collision, I thought, made a lot of great comedy.
I'm gay, I'm over 30, and I'm in love with someone in this room.
My favorite single sketch from the TV show. Well, I spit on my liver once.
Oh my God, what is that?
It's a liver. A perfectly ordinary liver. But it's mine. You can't have it. I'm gonna need this.
I remember Kevin and I were sitting in this swank coffee house with a lot of yuppies around us, and I just started crushing heads.
You know what you are? You're a yuppie. That's right. I just made that word up. It's my word. And I'm crushing your head, yuppie. Wish.
Kevin said, yeah, that's a good idea. I should remember that. I totally forgot about it. When we were writing the special, he said, you know, that would make a good film idea. I went, really? So we kind of wrote it up together, and lo and behold, he was right.
I'm just crushing the heads that need to get crushed, like yours, madam.
My head is perfectly fine, thank you.
Come on, take out your dentures. It'll be fun. I'll crush your head.
Get out of the way, old lady. Your head's in serious trouble. Crushing your head.
No, I'm crushing your head.
Victory!
Not a chance.
Victory, I crushed your head.
The way you know a character is if you get the voice and you suddenly have a lot to say in that voice. That's the character.
People make fun of me because I lisp. Really? Such a lot of fuss over a few extra S's.
I consider a lot of my best work to be the Buddy Cole monologues. That one I'm very proud of because it makes people really, really nervous.
They say that whites are smarter than blacks, but dumber than Orientals. I guess we're just right. We're the porridge that Goldilocks chose. Not too hot, like those saucy Africans, but not too cold, like those chilly Chinese.
I think when we first started the TV show, it seemed about the live audience, and it was about the taping night. And as the years wore on, I think we more cherished the film work we did on the series because you could do wilder things with the camera and with music.
Stop him! He's got my pen!
My pen! My pen! My pen!
You got my pen!
We just started writing ideas that were longer and more ambitious, and soon were like the kind of ideas that were exceeding the scope of what we could do on the show.
You are a hostage, and I am a man with a gun. So shut up! Where's my dry cleaners? Thank you.
They just kept pushing it, and each year it got more elaborate. And I think the logical conclusion of it was to do a movie.
Right after The Kids in the Hall wrapped its last show, 3 days later, we were up in Northern Ontario in the summer. It's beautiful. Visit Canada.
So we spent 2 weeks in a small Ontario village.
And for the first week, we just talked out every idea we had for a film.
We had lots of bad ideas and a few good ideas.
Just tons and tons of scenes we wrote, right? Of all kinds, dealing with the drugs, depression, suicide, all those fun things, right?
And then it's just, at some point, it got incrementally funnier. It sort of spiked, and we got a lot of stuff all at once.
Well, every morning we'd go out in the paddle boats, and then about a week before shooting, someone scrambled the script together. That's basically the process.
Well, once we hammered out the plot, we just started throwing character ideas at it. And some stuck.
There's 45, I think.
Well, so I think I'm playing like 5 characters.
I'm only playing 8 in the film. Isn't that weird?
10 characters.
We play most of them. We're like real pigs about, you know, no work for anyone else.
I play a cop. Bruce also plays a cop.
Well, pitter patter, let's get at her.
Hey, hang on a second. I gotta drain the snake.
I'm playing a character named Grievo.
This is bullshit.
I play a white, sort of like trashy street woman.
You can say goodbye to this.
No,
yeah.
And then there's Mrs. Herdecure, and that's an old woman.
Doctor, I haven't felt this good since they said it's not malignant.
And then I also play an asshole.
Can you get me something to eat before I chew my fucking hand off?
And I play a talk show host.
How many times has this happened to you?
And I think I'm really hot as Wally.
Oh, yes, sir!
I play the wacky next-door neighbor.
I didn't know that.
I play the drunk cab driver.
But they didn't go for it.
I play the incontinent nun.
She was cut from the film.
Oh,
yeah.
she's cut.
Who else do I play? I play Sponge Man. I keep screaming, "Get away from me with that water! Don't you know how porous I am?"
And that's another sad loss.
Sad loss. He's on the cutting room floor,
SpongeMan
soaking up
didn't make
spills.
Look, if they cut Sponge Man, I'm walking off this lousy shoot.
I saw a flower down by the lake. I ate a bug and dropped my cake. The drug, she no good. Do not take.
Hey,
Excuse me, sir. I clean now, sir?
Oh, look, get out of here, you lowly cleaning woman.
I guess my favorite character right now is Don Roritor.
Good morning, Don. Good morning, Don. Good morning.
He's the head of Roritor, the pharmaceutical company, and he's the evil centerpiece.
Look, are we ever going to get the big table in here, or do I have to go out and cut down that f***ing tree myself?
He's a guy who invented sort of an antacid.
When I invented Stummies.
Oh, God, you did.
It was his one big hit. He built the company out of it, but his company is hemorrhaging money. So he's grabbing each research group and bringing them up and saying, so what are you doing?
Well, I've been working on a thing. It's sort of like Stummies.
And the twist is?
It's a much bigger pill.
Well, I've invented a pill that gives worms to ex-girlfriends.
Well, could it also give worms to ex-boyfriends?
This is a drug for the world to give worms to ex-girlfriends.
So what are you working on?
Well, as you know, I am working on a drug that will cure depression.
Go on.
Yes, I'm the hero. Ooh, fascinating. Chris Cooper is a scientist who's just obsessed and driven to make his mark in society, and he wants to do it through curing depression.
Is it ready or not?
Kevin is the good guy, but under tremendous pressure, he agrees that his drug is ready to be produced when he knows it's not. But then when the side effects start kicking in, you know, the shit's hitting the fan.
You get your finger out of my face, Don.
Don't you touch my finger.
Get your finger out of my face.
No, don't you touch my face.
Get your finger out of my face.
Don't
Get
do
your
it.
finger. Get your finger out of my face. Get your finger out of my face.
Kelly Macon. He looks like Alfred E. Newman, which is weird. Like visually, you don't see the darkness, but it's there.
Kelly's directorial style, every day they pay him in cash.
Move back just a bit. Yeah, good.
The reason we chose Kelly for the film is because I think we wanted someone who understood our process, who got like into the marrow of the script and could deal with our idiosyncrasies. Scott, you should get in your costume for this next scene.
Each one of them has a different approach, a different way that they respond to the material or the character. Bruce has his own very unique way of approaching each character. It's kind of like a puppy dog running out into a busy street.
Something wrong?
No. Scott's very instinctual. He's a lot looser performer. He's not afraid. He's really not afraid to do anything. And then Mark is amazing that he just snaps into a character.
English is my third language.
Almost like a chameleon. I mean, I think a lot of the times you don't even know it's Mark.
Hot Wheel.
This is a poem I've written. It is about the machinations of power and corruption. And then there's some stuff about a kitten, but then it ends kind of heavy.
Dave is really kind of charming.
The fries will never be ready.
He eases into a character really nicely, and it seems kind of effortless.
Oh, look, my character glasses. Watch the transformation. There it goes. Hi, I'm in character.
Thank you for happiness pie. Okay, off with cream on top.
Kevin. He's also really appealing just as playing, not himself, but a variation of himself. You always know it's Kevin. You look at him and you smile. A combination of each other's sensibilities and how they approach comedy as a group seems to just work. They make me laugh.
We were writing a lot of relationship sort of comedy, and there were no women in the troupe, so we just started doing the women's parts, you know, and we didn't think about it twice.
I guess we never thought it was funny that we were playing women, because we used to play women just with, like, quick, give me the dress, I'm going to play a woman now, or the wig. And when we came to TV, it was like, oh, what are we going to do? Well, I guess we have to play them. We have to wear makeup, we have to wear earrings and cross our legs more like them.
I won. I never thought that I would be chosen from among the most glamorous women in the nation.
So it was more a big thing for other people. It's just really natural to us.
What is it you want?
I want...
Sally, would you like this woman to have sex with you for money, eh? Is that what you would like, eh?
Yeah.
There's a general belief that Dave makes the foxiest mama.
This is garbage. Don't forget to take it out, mister.
The good wig will take the place of acting any day.
I'm going to do what any resourceful woman would do in a time of hardship. I'm going to steal toilet paper.
Dave Foley is beautiful. Sometimes he catches me like looking at him, and it's kind of weird, and I have to turn away, and it's kind of an embarrassing moment.
Kevin is the most frazzled.
Oh, don't tell me that.
It's true. I played a woman last week called Lacey that really turned me on. Lacey's sort of an in-joke. It's the last name of my wife who just left me.
I was in love with you, you know. I could have anyone. I'm beautiful.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm the most lost woman, I think.
So, what are you gonna do? For the weekend, something outrageous.
Really?
I'm going inline skating.
Be careful.
I think Dave is beautiful, I'm pretty, Bruce is cute, and Mark and Scott at their best could be handsome women.
What are you doing? Photocopying my breath. I'm going back to stripping.
Scott was pretty much reduced to playing grandmothers.
One of my specialties, whatever, is like older women.
Oh, come on. Oh, I'm falling down.
The very first time I did that was a character who loses her oranges.
Don't mean to be a bother. It's just that I wouldn't mind to help. Those are my oranges. I'll take them. You've got my oranges. Stop, thief!
And she's based on a lot of my great aunts. I didn't have any grandparents growing, but I had a lot of great aunts in my life. You know, Aunt Jessie, Aunt Marjorie, Aunt Ruby.
Are you all right, man?
Yes.
I looked at it last night. It was coincidentally on television. I went, oh, that's where Mrs. Herdecure was born.
You are stunning. What have you done? Did you fix your hair?
Well, I've been very regular lately. Maybe that's it.
I'm not as exciting as Naomi Campbell, am I?
Makeup and hair are the real stars of this movie.
It's marvelous. Isn't it a marvelous
Wonderful.
process?
It got more complex over the years.
I have 3 sizes of breasts, like 3 different styles for the different characters. Kevin, did it turn you on?
It turned me on.
Well, it got a little gruesome this time around.
Pretty fierce, eh? And then at the end they were like waxing and stretching back our face.
As we got older, we turned to the tapes, much like Cher.
We were using lifts. You think? Because our faces were going to be 50 feet wide now. And those hurt. So we were pretty much like getting pretty trussed up at the end there.
He's beautiful. Gorgeous.
I would go, but I can't move.
Just like my drug, you look good enough to swallow.
Brian Hart, one of our writers, he put it best when he said, "You're the least musical group of guys I've ever met in my life."
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That doesn't sound anything like Stairway to Heaven.
I love rock music, but I also know how stupid it is.
Marker.
Most days I work.
I'm playing a character named Grievo. He sings a dark song, and then later on he sings an anthem for the drug, which is a happy song.
Happiness and sunbeams and cute little puppy dogs.
And I sing Happiness Pie, which turns into this full-blown kind of production number of happiness and cute little puppy dogs.
See the sad man in the corner. He is gross and he is old. People steal his shoes and make him eat mold.
Cut. Good. Do one more.
There was this gigantic pie that we were all supposed to get into. Kelly, the director, and the special effects guys, they'd all sit around and talk about the substance of the pie.
How do we get it so that it's like pie? You know, is it a berry pie? Is it like a pumpkin pie? I mean, what kind of food stuff evokes happiness?
They flew in the top scientists of the world, and it ended up when the happiness pie was just like orange water.
Orange water.
It's gonna be funny. This is gonna be funny.
Oh yeah, this is great.
This is great.
It's gross.
That was the hardest night of shooting for me. I had to go and stand up to my waist in pumpkin orange jello.
There's a guy dressed up as a priest, as an Indian, and I remember this is a real thing for hours. The guy with the megaphone goes, "Would the Indian please move closer to the cross?"
Awful.
Bellini and the priest should kind of be together. Businessman and Indian. Old man, you're all alone.
And then there's the other old guy, the first one that had to go on.
Oh!
The old guy, he had to go completely under and come up, but his pants were kind of baggy, so every time he went under, his pants floated up. So they made this old guy, this 7-year-old guy, do it again. He'd go, "What, again? Okay."
And action!
Some sunbeams and cute little happy dog. These are the things that I see with my heart.
It was really cold and surreal.
Very good, guys.
Dave, what's the audience going to come away with?
What they'll come away from this movie with? I'm just hoping they come away with less money.
I would say that the message would be there is nothing that cannot be leavened by humor.
So here, Dad's dead. Hey, is that eggnog?
It's about people, and it's about happiness and sadness.
And how do you feel?
Sure. She's depressed. Yes. Yes.
It's like weird, surreal, conceptual things, and then pie in the face.
It's a mother of a movie coming your way.
Laughs, laughs, laughs.
We laughed ourselves sick.
Is this the result we're looking for? Your baby kid. Matthew.
Did you feel that?
I just want to ask something. How many times do you have to listen to jokes about tribbles?
Groovy.